The next speaker faces a particularly difficult combination of the anger of the public and the frustration of members themselves. A lot of those frustrations are not new, but they've been made much worse in recent circumstances. Some of them are very old ones, sitting around waiting to know if you're going to be called in a debate, finding that the amendment that really matters to you is just knocked off by the timetable, so it's never discussed at all, along with large chunks of the bill. Let's not delude ourselves. If the new speaker can't help maintain a momentum for change, it isn't going to get any better. And some fundamental things have to be done, which I think by far the most significant is for the House of Commons to take control of how it does its business, not its paying expenses, which are all the things we're not very good at, much best done by somebody else. But how we deal with the legislation the government puts forward is a matter for the House, not for the government. The government is entitled to bring its legislation forward, and if it's a majority, to get its legislation through. But it's for the House to decide how that legislation is dealt with. And it's for the House to decide how it disposes of time to see that government is well scrutinised. And we don't even put the best things in the shop window. The most noticeable thing about parliamentary life in media is Prime Minister's questions, which fulfills some different functions. For many members, it's actually quite valuable if used properly, because you engage the Prime Minister on something which is important perhaps to your constituents or to a concern you're pursuing, and that can be very valuable. But it's also become a confidence test of the party leaders. And we shouldn't waste so much of the time doing that, week by week. It's really an instrument which should be there much for private members. So what the new speaker has to do is maintain the momentum for reform, engage with backbenchers and party leaders. In my view, there should be no government majority on the business committee. And engage also with the public in ensuring that reforms make the House of Commons more effective in doing the job that we are sent here to do. I think the new speaker has to be much more open with members, no more closed lists. We should know what the proposals of the speakers is for the debate, more open with the public. I think the new speaker needs to be fair-minded, as is the right for traditional speakers. I think the speaker needs to care about members. And I actually think that's one of the strengths that Michael Martin always had, and one of the reasons why so many people supported him to become speaker. I certainly, I'm sure others can testify, I found that to be very, very true in practice. I don't think it's a job that people should hang on to for a long time. I think it's a job for 4 or 5 years, and then let somebody else see if they can take the momentum further than that. But what I want you to keep in your minds is that if we are not prepared in these unique circumstances to make changes, if we're not prepared to grapple with what's needed to put the House in charge of its own business, and if the occupant of the chair is not prepared to use the authority which the chair gives, both to stimulate change and to advantage backbenchers in their rightful efforts on behalf of the constituents, then the frustrations will continue, and it won't just be members who are frustrated, it will be our constituents who continue to be dissatisfied.